Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco number 7016 AA8-26D rim cylinder. So this is the end of 2018 in terms of the year, and the 7016 is actually a discontinued model, but we still have some old stock, and this is the type of tailpiece that clips on with a C-clip and can be installed either horizontally or vertically. The new model is the 7076, which features a threaded cap, spring, and then cap pin that would go in the back. And that's a nice design because with a single cylinder you can do a fixed tailpiece, horizontal or vertical, and you can also do a lazy action should you need to as well, which is at some custom installation something that would be required to have a lazy action on the back of that tailpiece. So let's dissect the part number. 7016 means that tailpiece construction, C-clip, flat bar, tailpiece. Okay, this is just a flat tailpiece is what that's called. The 6 in the part number tells us that it is not only a 6-pin cylinder, that it is pinned 6, and will include a cut 6-pin key, or a key with 6, with the capability of having 6 cuts on it. Okay, this is a AA keyway, which is an arrow type keyway, and when you do a 6-pin, it's not unusual to see this large head on the key. Okay. A 5-pin is probably going to have the standard keyway, but it's not unusual to have a large head on a 6-pin key blank. In fact, I can't tell you that arrow has a small head or a standard head 6-pin. I imagine they do, but I don't know that they do, etc. The 8 in the part number tells us that it's the 8 cam or tailpiece. This is just a flat tailpiece is what this is. Okay, being a rim cylinder, it's going to include a cylinder collar that you can see. And that blue film is just a peel-away protective film over the satin chrome 26D finish that's there. Okay. Then also you're going to have the rim cylinder with its 2 breakaway screws and then its retaining plate. So you'll be able to install this through your door. The 2 screws go through the retaining plate. The retaining plate gets put onto the face of the door. Some retaining plates feature a couple of small mouse ear preparations in the corners so that you can attach it to the door with a couple of small screws. That's a nice feature to have the plate in place so you don't have to try to hold the plate, but then you'll run your screws regardless through the back, these breakaway style screws. And that's because it'll accommodate lots of different thicknesses of doors. Probably going to push 2.5 inch, I would guess. They also make a longer tailpiece, and you can see the breakaway points on there. You're not just going to try to snap that, nor would you try to snap those screws off. You're going to carefully cut them. You don't want to bend the tailpiece at all. And that's important because a tailpiece on a rim cylinder needs to be laser beam straight. If it's not, it will, if you've bent it, it will move through its motion in an oval sort of application, and it's going to bind when you try to work the lock. That tailpiece needs to be on its axis very accurately. Okay, being a Kaba Ilco cylinder, it's made of solid brass. That means that you get exceptional quality out of the material, the operation, the brass base keys, the brass base cylinder plug, the brass base housing. That architectural metal permits a very high machining tolerance on the hardware so that when you're pinning the lock, you're pinning it to very tight tolerances with your pin kit. That means that they're a bit finicky in the sense of pinning them because you just can't slap pins in there like you could with a zinc-based cylinder plug and cylinder housing, which is a much lower quality type of base material that would not permit the same high tolerances between moving parts. The advantage of that is when it's pinned properly, you can expect to get decades of faithful service out of such a piece of hardware. And when you compare the cost of a Kaba Ilco solid brass cylinder to other manufacturers of their locks, you'll realize quickly that this is a great option in terms of cost. I wouldn't use another cylinder if I had an option of using Kaba Ilco in most situations, because I don't necessarily get any sort of advantage by doubling or tripling or quadrupling the cost of the material. Okay. This is going to be available in the 70, well, it was the 7015. Same cylinder, the 5 in the part number means it's drilled 6 for 6 chambers, but it's only pinned to 5 with a 5-pin key. All of the common keyways you can get from Kaba Ilco as well. They've got a couple of dozen keyways, and I won't beleaguer all of their different keyways, but I'll refer to them by the end of this video, how to find them. All the finishes, there are probably a half a dozen or more finishes. The brasses, the bronze, the chromes, polished, satin, a dark bronze, a black, an oil rubbed, a Dura color brown sort of option. This happens to be a, if you noticed on the part number, a KA2. That means that this came from the factory, 2 cylinders taped together, keyed alike. So if you needed 2 of them, they'd already be keyed alike and give you 4 keys. This client needed 1, so we just took one and broke it off the pack, and that was it. You can also order this, of course, in every possible keying combination, either us doing the key work internally or having the factory do it for you and then drop shipping it to you. Although sometimes the issue with having Kaba Ilco do certain key operations or colors or keyways or cams or lengths is that they'll force us often to buy in multiples of 10. So often some of that stuff has to come to us first so that we can inventory the, if you need 9 and you know we have to order 10, we put 1 in stock sort of scenario. Now, the options. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Kaba Ilco products that we sell, and before I get to that, there's a chart down below showing the different length of tail pieces that are there for the 7015, 7016. You got your tailpiece number 8 or a 9, and a 9 is going to be a bit longer. Then the other 2 tail pieces that are there are for your 7075 and 7076 threaded cap model, so you'll avoid those altogether. And I had said about 2.5 inch on the door thickness. Yeah, I would say that you're going to certainly be able to get that. Now, that link to the manufacturer's page will get you to all of the Kaba Ilco products we sell, a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the brass cylinder catalog where you'll be able to find this rim cylinder, all the mortise cylinders, all the accessories, cylinder collars, and other items that will go along with these cylinders. But also you're going to be able to review other items in there, like mailbox locks, or cam locks, I should say. But my favorite thing from Kaba Ilco is their series of deadbolts. They manufacture a modular system of deadbolts that will give you the ability to accommodate a whole heck of a lot of door thicknesses, like an extreme range of door thickness. Last one I did was a 3-inch door. Very narrow profile on the face of the door. 2 3/8, 2 3/4 back sets, 2-inch back set. They may be the only company that makes a deadbolt for a 2 3/4 back, 2-inch back set. All the colors, etc. The only thing they don't do, and I wish they did, and I don't see how they really could, is do a slam latch. The way they accomplish the modular is by being able to thread mortise cylinders on either side if you wanted a double cylinder, or you could thread a mortise thumb turn on one side, or just use the thumb turn that would come with a single cylinder, a rosette thumb turn and 2 screws that will hold it on. The only other downside of not having a slam latch is there's a minimum bore diameter through the door, and I think it's 1 7/8. It would really be nice if it was 1.5 inches. They don't have that option. There's no way to do it smaller than that 1 7/8. But that's still a nice small hole. It's a 1/4 inch smaller than a standard 2 1/8. And I use that deadbolt to great effect when someone calls me up and says, I have a 4-inch style on an exterior French door. And I say, I got the perfect back set for you. I got a 2-inch back set. And it's perfect. I'm partial to Kaba Ilco, and it's because high quality, great price, great diversity of product, and there's a tech support gentleman there who he knows who he is, who tolerates my chronic, constant questions. Because it's a complex line of hardware, and you do need to rely on excellent technical support, and that gentleman there certainly provides that to me. Any questions on the 7016 AA8 and 26D finish or any other Kaba Ilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.